Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face.
Good morning, Zach. Good morning, Alexis.
Yeah.
How are we doing? This is in case you don't know, you're listening to an episode of The Film Majors. We are finally entering Christmas season. How is everyone doing today?
Well, I'm fabulous. I hope everyone had a lovely Black Friday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did anyone do any shopping?
You know me. I just love holidays and shopping. That is actually not a lie. I do love shopping, but not Black Friday. So
You do love shopping. You also love a good bargain.
I do love a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got out to your neck of the woods, Nick, between the last podcast and today. We knocked on your parents' door, but they weren't home.
Are you? Wait, really?
Well, we were at the aquarium, and we felt like we needed to do a drive-by.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic, Zach. What was the coast like? What'd you do other than the aquarium?
Well, we stopped at the fish market on the end of the bridge there and picked up some fresh fish and brought it back to Eugene and had a lovely dinner with my brother Edwin, and my lovely father and his wonderful bride.
Hey, what the hell is going on? There's been a crime committed on this podcast. My father has taken my spot and is impersonating me. Get the hell out of the chair.
Oh, man.
Get out of the chair.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
I thought that was Zach. That's so strange.
Didn't even finish the movie. All right. Bye, everybody.
Wow.
Get out of
Goodbye.
here. Jeez.
You guys have a lovely day.
All right. Okay.
You
Go
too.
from me.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Be gone from
That's
me, vile
interesting.
man.
I'll be honest with you. I could not tell a difference. I thought that was you.
Strangely enough, you guys have the exact same cadence in the way that you guys speak sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when you're speaking nice and, softly, which isn't, I'll give you that often.
That's a rare occurrence.
Wow.
Rare.
But
if that was a
when you
piece of
do-
meat, it'd still be bleeding.
It is in that rhythm. So,
my
I was I was fooled. I was bamboozled.
You were bamboozled.
Yeah.
It's nice to, have someone who sounds and looks so similar to me, but is old, because it's like having my own, walking portrait of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
He ages for me.
Exactly.
But
It's that distinct Greek, Canadian, liberal Eugene cadence.
Sure.
that you guys
yeah,
have.
that's
exactly what
an
it is.
accent.
That's exactly an accent.
Well, what's going on, you two? How was your Thanksgiving holiday? What'd you get up to?
Well, thanks. Well, Thanksgiving that happened well over a week ago now.
Sure was.
I
Definitely
did have
wasn't
fun.
yesterday.
I had a good time. I hung out with my lovely girlfriend, and we went to one of her friends' place. We had a nice Friendsgiving.
Nice.
And I challenged myself. I pride myself in my ability to make garlic mashed potatoes and gravy, but my partner's vegan, so I've never had to do it vegan before. So I was a little worried, but it ended up being pretty darn good. So I'm happy that you can still make a good mashed potatoes and gravy and not have any animal products in it.
Nice.
It can be done.
Yeah, my dad's been making a mushroom gravy for a long time.
That's what I made.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's I don't
Yeah.
think his version's vegan because it probably has butter in it, but I think he has made a vegan version. It's quite tasty.
Mushroom gravy is my favorite.
Alexis, how was your holiday?
Oh, you know me. I love holidays like Thanksgiving. They bring me a lot of peace and joy into my life.
Why are you
She
crossing
also
your
loves a
fingers?
good bargain.
Yeah, I do. I love this season.
Jesus.
Alexis, I hope you know this is going to be a running bit through this whole episode where I'm just going to say, and Alexis loves a good bargain.
Why?
Yeah, no, it was good. There was no snafus. Me and my sisters, we prepared the I say that liberally, like really, I like chopped a few pieces of celery, and that was kind of my contribution to the turkey, because I kind of fucking hate turkey. So,
I used to feel that way, but I've beginning to realize that actually, like, if you cook it properly, like, in other words, if you don't like dry it out, it is more edible. It's not a great meat, but like
that doesn't
it
win
is
me
usually
over.
so dry.
My sister usually, so like last year, my middle sister cooked it, and it was dry. But usually, our oldest sister, for the last 20 years, she's been doing Thanksgiving, and like whenever she cooks it, it's usually pretty moist. But in general, I think I just hate the holiday, and therefore hate the turkey by default.
Wow. Don't let your hatred of what Thanksgiving is about ruin a day to eat a whole bunch of food. That's
Well, first of all, I would never let my hatred for a holiday get in the way of me eating a shit ton of food, because believe me, I had, well, here's the thing is that like for our Thanksgiving, we always have like, cause the kids always want like chips and dip. So we always have chips and dip, but my dad always makes a shit ton of salsa. So like I literally load up on like chips and salsa, like pretty early in the day. And then I just start drinking. So then like by the time you get to like Thanksgiving, like lunch, we usually do lunch. I'm already mostly full, so like I only take like a little bit of turkey, some mashed potatoes, and then some green beans or whatever. My mom made like the 7-layer dip this year, and she made like 4 pies.
Wow. What kind of pies?
She made a pecan praline, and then she made 2 pumpkin, and then she made a blueberry cheesecake. They were all very delicious, to be honest. They were all very good.
Pecan pie.
And then I made a cranberry rosemary holiday cocktail. It was very good.
Ooh, nice.
Sounds
good.
I made Mr. Mick Munyai's famous wassail recipe.
I did too.
How did it turn out?
Yeah.
It turned out great for me.
Yeah. Did you use brandy or whiskey?
I think I used bourbon.
Bourbon, okay.
Yeah, I think that was what was purchased. But,
I actually didn't use any alcohol.
Wow. Alexis throwing disrespect on the Munyai name by not getting
Well, I wanted, me and my sister were kind of the only people that were drinking, and we very much wanted the cocktails.
For sure,
so I was making us gin cocktails. Like I was like shaking them up and everything. And the kids all really like the wassail. So they and my sister they were all having the wassail.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah. My holiday was overall pretty good, except it was like interrupted by me having to watch a really shit movie.
Yeah. I am quite excited to talk about this movie with you guys.
Before we get into our big topic, our first film of this new month, I would like to talk a little bit about the other movie that I saw, because I did watch one movie on Wednesday.
What was it?
Nora Ephron's Julie and Julia.
I enjoy that movie.
Yeah.
I enjoy half the movie. I should say.
I love Nora Ephron. I think that, like, very few people are as good at writing, like, romantic comedies as she was. But I think Julie and Julia kind of suffers in the department in which she usually really excels, which is building a strong central relationship, even if the characters don't necessarily meet. I do feel like a level of connection between, the 2 title characters, despite the fact that they never meet, which is kind of the trick that she pulls in Sleepless in Seattle. But it doesn't quite feel as strong because they're not like on a collision course in the same way.
It's literally different timelines.
Yeah, they're never going to meet. But I think she does like a decent job of like communicating kind of the like spiritual connection between the two. But I don't buy either of the like current timeline relationships in that movie.
I agree.
I feel like Meryl Streep is playing like a cartoon, and I know that that's how Julia Child like was publicly, but like I feel like she doesn't have like a lot of depth to her. And then Chris Messina is simply too boring to be an interesting partner. No offense to Chris Messina, who's very good in Air this year, but his character, very dull and not a good partner to Amy Adams. So I was kind of disappointed about that.
When I watch Julie and Julia, Chris Messina, I always get him confused with the really dull boyfriend from Devil Wears Prada. Like they're interchangeable in my head. Nope. They're both dull, and they look similar. And
that's
Meryl
true.
Streep is in both of those films. I get those confused.
Adrian is from one of my favorite movies from the turn of the century, Drive Me Crazy, which I made you watch too, Mick. So at the very least, you God damn it.
Wait, what's it about?
It's a high school movie, and this girl who was the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch from like the 90s.
Okay.
She loses her date to this dance and ends up fake dating her neighbor who used to be her friend when she was younger. And then, surprise, surprise, they fall in love.
No, I don't buy it. I don't think that's what happens. That doesn't
It's
sound
one of my
right.
favorite movies. I fucking love that movie.
That's not ringing a bell. Huh.
You're fired.
Interesting.
Great.
But Julia and Julia, I've always maintained, should have just been the Julia Childs like storyline. I don't enjoy the Amy Adams storyline that much. I'm like, this. Look, you have Stanley Tucci, you have Meryl Streep. Just that's
let
great.
Him cook,
and then let them cook. Because honestly, I think that would have helped form a better like central, like emotional spine to it instead of having to juggle both of them. Because it's like,
isn't it based on a book though?
yes, it is.
It is,
but you could get a little loosey goosey with it. I don't know. I like. Again, I generally liked the movie. You know, like. Yeah, I feel like a Nora Ephron movie could only be so bad. And like, you know, as someone who enjoys cooking, loved all of that. It still does have like some classic Nora staples of like really kind of fast-paced dialogue, delightful scenes of ladies getting together over cocktails and talking about their lives.
right.
But, you know, I just feel like that kind of central emotional spine of the movie that she is usually very good at cultivating just wasn't quite there. So a little disappointed, but still glad to have seen it. You know, it's the leaves are changing. It's nice and crisp and chilly up here in Oregon, and you know, it's Nora season. So it was
it is Nora season.
It is her time. So it was nice to watch a Nora Ephron movie.
Nice. I watched a new release a few days ago.
What'd you see?
I watched Ridley Scott's Napoleon. I did. I went to the Vista Theater in Los Feliz, which is just recently reopened. One of our favorite guests that is on the show quite often, he purchased it. It's renovated. So I got to see Napoleon on 70 millimeter, which it was shot on digital, but seeing it projected on 70 millimeter was really, really great. And I quite liked it, but I can see why it is divisive. I can see why a lot of people are like, I don't like this movie.
A late career Ridley Scott movie, divisive? Surely not.
I know. It's strange. But first of all, I'm going to say something that a lot of people have been saying. The battle sequences are, honestly, I think some of the best put to screen in recent memory. Ridley Scott, obviously, he's the master of this. He's done it so many times. You know, he did Gladiator, Robin Hood, Kingdom of Heaven. He just did Duel. So when it comes to epic sweeping shots of period battles and stuff like that, he's one of the masters of it, and he shows that he still has his game here. Really, really good. I think Joaquin Phoenix is fantastic. Vanessa Kirby really came in strong, but this is not like I thought this was going to be a character study, and it's more of a caricature. It's like it's a funny film, and it changes tone. It goes from being funny to then like ultra serious in a battle, and I'm still kind of like unsure how I felt about the tonal shifts and if it was that graceful. I kind of want to rewatch it, but I did enjoy it. I had a really, really good time, and you have to see this, folks, on the biggest screen you can. Don't watch it on Apple TV, but I have to give Apple credit because they gave Ridley Scott what seems to be a huge budget for this. It looked fantastic. It's a beautiful film.
Lovely. Alexis, am I right in saying that you have also seen Ridley Scott's Napoleon?
I did. I saw it on Tuesday night in IMAX.
What'd you think?
What'd you think?
You're right. The battle scenes are pretty crazy. Like the very first shot of a fucking horse getting its chest taken out. I literally turned to my friend and was just like, my mouth was just like jaw dropped open. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It is pretty funny. There was this, towards, I think like maybe the second last third of the movie, there was, I guess, whoever was the new king after Napoleon had to abdicate, being emperor. Spoiler alert for anyone born within the last 500, 200 years. And this guy is like eating, and he's a larger man, and he's eating, and so like his neck is kind of it's not really there. I don't know if it exists. But he's like doing this thing that's just like as he eats, he's doing this like, and then he goes, you may speak, like to his like servant or whatever. He's like nibbling on something, and then he just stops and he goes, you may speak. And I literally turned to my friend and I just went,
well, what's funny is
we're the worst people in the theater.
That's Alexis. That is not the only lip smacking that happens in this film. I'm not going to spoil anything, but do you remember what Joaquin Phoenix does to Josephine when he wants sex?
Oh my God!
I laughed so hard, and they do it multiple times.
I did not laugh. Because just
it was so ridiculous. It gave
what
Alexis
is it?
The big ick.
Napoleon, just the big ick. That man was like a rutting fucking dog. The movie lost like half a point just because I had to watch him like go to town like 3 different times where he's just like jackrabbiting off on this poor woman's behind, and I was just like, I hate this.
Yeah.
You guys are selling this movie to me so hard.
Yeah, Zach, I think you're going to like it, honestly.
I think you'll like it.
I get the sense that I, in fact, might like this movie the most out of anyone on this podcast.
Yeah, I did see it.
I did quite like it.
Yeah, I liked it. Whatchamacallit, I did see it at 10:25 at night. Ooh. And so I did not get out until like 1:15 in the morning. And let me tell you, having to sit through that much war was very tiring. I was already tired, and sitting through that much war is exhausting. So like about halfway through, I started like yawning. I wouldn't say that it's all the movie, but I wouldn't say that like the movie's like the most personally compelling thing for me. So
right.
Well.
Yeah, it does kind of keep. Well, I guess I don't want to go into it too much because you haven't seen it, Zach. But it does kind of keep like the characters at an arm's length.
Right.
Yeah.
At least that's what it felt for me. Like you never really get to know these people, but again, it feels like more of a caricature.
Do really enjoy the comedy of like him with. Like when he has to like run out of the building because these guys are like chasing, kind of like chasing him, and then like he has to shut the door, and they're like just slapping each other practically.
I know, he's slapping the
like
people.
Slapping like this brigadier general is fucking slapping the fuck out of their hands. You know, that shit was hilarious. Seeing everything that came up in the newspapers, like all the chisme about him and his wife, I love that.
I know the headlines made me laugh. The headlines did make me laugh.
You'll love the opening shot of like the guillotine and who they are killing at the very beginning. You'll love that, Zach. It's you know, eat the rich and shit. So
c'est bon.
And then Alexis, did you appreciate that lovely song that they put in the film when Josephine and Napoleon are like first really getting to know each other?
Oh my God. I was like, who put this in?
I know.
and it came back like multiple times. I was just like, what is happening here? It's one of the songs from Pride and Prejudice.
It's like one of the main themes from Pride and Prejudice.
Okay. I thought
I
it
was
was
like, did they secure the rights to this? What is this?
Yeah, it was strange.
I thought it was going to be
I
like
really
Looking
enjoyed
for
it.
trouble, then you came to the right place.
I'll be honest, because I've seen Pride and Prejudice like dozens of times. It really threw me for a loop because I was just like, I think I was so taken out of the movie by the music, because all I could see was the opening shots of Pride and Prejudice, and then all I could think about was, how did they secure the rights to this? Why did they secure the rights to this? Why did they specifically choose this iconic song? Like, it really took me out of it.
Would have completely gone over my head. But
Yeah,
you know,
no, it
I've
was-
only
it was
seen Pride and
bugging
Prejudice
me.
once, so you know.
Yeah.
You're not talking
it
to an
is-
expert like Alexis.
It is kind of absurdist. It's an
little
absurdist
bit.
film. I definitely recommend.
Yeah, well, I will definitely be checking that out sometime in the next few weeks, because you know our best of 2023 episodes right around the corner. I gotta get my ducks in a row.
Mick is also right. If you do want to see the movie, you should endeavor to see it on as big a screen as possible, because I, for one, am not like a huge war like movie person, but there's just something about seeing that on a really big screen that is really impressive, like logistically, like, you know, because like, you know, having worked in film, you're just like, oh, there was somebody doing a wet down. You know, on like all these different shots and stuff. I don't know. It's very impressive. So
yeah, you don't get movies like this anymore, really.
Lovely.
So it's worth watching on a big screen for sure.
Excellent. Well, I will definitely be checking that out. Any other films? Anybody? Mick, Alexis,
Yes.
Alexis, Mick,
No.
Alexis, Alexis.
Ooh, what'd you see?
I see some noodles in your mouth. What do you see? What did you see? I was eating. Listen, a large part of why my father took the beginning of this podcast was so I could finish eating a bagel.
yeah, I woke up at my sister's house at like 7 a.m. and like came home and started the movie, and then was like, I really need to eat or I'm gonna be cranky.
You just say
yeah.
cwanky?
I did say cranky.
She will clank.
So I watched, let's see here. I watched The Land Before Time the night before Thanksgiving. It was really precious because it was me in the middle in bed with my sister and my 8-year-old nephew on either side of me. And within the first 10 minutes, because the movie's only like, I want to say like an hour and 10 minutes long. Like the first 10 minutes, you know, something very heartbreaking happens. The mother dies, and you could just hear all three of us sniffling so hard. And it was Jackson's first time watching it. And he was so distraught. He was just like, why'd she die? What happened to her? And we were like, it's okay. Anyways, I think that movie is a fucking masterpiece. And I literally, like, while I was watching, I was like, this movie is a fucking masterpiece. I fucking love it. And then for Thanksgiving, we were trying to kind of figure out, like, what movie should we throw on? And then I was like, just throw on the fucking first Hunger Games. We've all been wanting to rewatch it since we've all seen the new one. You know, like, my older nephew and my older nephews and one of their girlfriends, and then me and Natalie, we've all seen the new movie. So we were like, we really want to rewatch the the old series. And so we threw on the first one, and we ended up watching all 4 movies.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which one was the best?
Which one is the best? I think Catching Fire is the best one. So that's the second one in the series. I just think that, like, as far as stakes go and, like, caring about certain things, like, I think that one's the most concise, like, storyline. It has the most, like, momentum, like, beginning to end. I feel like the first movie has to, like, set up a lot of things and kind of explore specifically the relationship between Katniss and Peeta. And so, I mean, like, of course I love that one, but I think that Catching Fire is the most exciting one because of the way that the arena is laid out, and then the intrigue of, like, all these things that are happening behind Katniss, and especially when you know what's going on, like, having watched them already and knowing that certain things are going on in the background that Katniss doesn't know about, like, there's an added layer to something. Whereas, you know, obviously the third movie is kind of just the lull before the storm, and the fourth movie is just kind of them in a bunch of really fucking dangerous situations throughout the Capitol. I think that Catching Fire has the most, like, heart and thought in it, I would say.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie, and because the first Hunger Games, in my view, at least, like, directorially, is not very good. It's,
I agree.
Suffering from the post Jason Bourne, like, shaky cam thing.
It's awful.
And the second movie really, like, steps it up in craft, and I remember, like, noticing that and being like, oh, wow, this movie looks good.
I think for me, the first movie is just more of, like, the emotional backbone that is laid for you to understand the characters for the rest of the series.
Yeah, performance-wise, that movie still, you know, holds up as good. Maybe I should finish that series at some point. At least my memory of Mockingjay Part 1 from when it came out, when I was like 14, 15, I was like, nothing fucking happens in this movie. I also didn't really like the book when I read it, so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe someday. Maybe after we watch Twilight again.
Yeah. So you know how there's
brother,
the whole, like, Team Jacob, Team Edward thing in Twilight? Well, me and my nephew Nikki were arguing because he was like, you know, she's just a tease, you know, she should have just been with Gale. Like, he did all these things for you. And I was like, fuck you. Fuck Gale. You've never seen the last movie, Zach, so you don't know why Gale
I do know why. I read the book.
Oh, you read the book, huh?
Yeah, I read the books when they were coming out. Yeah, fuck Gale. That dude did a genocide.
Fuck that dude. Yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy. My nephew's wrong, and we were arguing about it for, like, 2 whole movies.
I mean, like, listen, he's a cutie, but he's a cutie in a very bland way because he's, like, the lesser Hemsworth.
Yeah, he's the discount Hemsworth.
Yeah, he's...
as you like to say, Zach, the wrong brother died.
Wrong kid died. Listen, as my friend and co-host of the Purgecast would say, he's free and reduced lunch Chris Hemsworth.
LMAO.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Well, do we have anything else? Any other films? All right, well then let's hop the fuck out of what's going on. Oh God. Oh my, do you hear those sleigh bells jingling?
They are slaying.
Oh my God. A chill's running down my spine. Something's coming down my chimney. It's a cursed Christmas! Welcome to hell. That's right, everyone. For our last 3 episodes of the year, we're doing... What? How was that for you guys?
Just watching Alexis masticate the whole time on her noodles while you're doing that bit was probably my favorite part.
Yeah, Alexis.
Yeah, I could see, like, the, like, light disgust on Nick's face.
Alexis, you are having ramen for breakfast, right?
Hell yeah, I am. It's the only thing I could figure out how to make in under 5 minutes. I literally, I microwaved some Hawaiian rolls with some butter.
Sad.
Uh-oh, she's choking.
Well, Well, Alexis chokes to death.
She's actually choking. Are you okay, Alexis?
Is she gonna die? Is Alexis gonna die on camera?
Live on the air.
I inhaled
What's
a piece
happening?
of noodle.
Noodle went down the wrong pipe.
Wow,
Breathing
this is
and
good
eating
content.
should be a separate thing. I've learned that the hard way many times.
Yeah, well, I was doing fine when no one was talking to me.
Well, Alexis, I have really bad news for you about the central conceit of a podcast.
Yeah.
So,
it is, in fact, not just a visual medium.
as I was saying, this is a cursed Christmas. We are talking about Christmas films which give us the big ick around the holiday
As
season.
you said, Zach, on the last episode, these are not Christmas horror films, but Christmas films that horrify us.
Yes. And for our first big topic of our last month of 2023, we've almost done it, guys. We've almost made it through an actual full calendar year.
Wow. This is one of the greatest
about
achievements of my life, by the way.
Yeah, we really
Bar
have just
none.
fucking stuck to this thing. Oh, boy. We're talking about odd career moves from popular and established actors.
Yeah, bizarre, odd career moves for sure. Does anyone have any ideas they want to rattle off first? I have a few. I actually have quite a few.
I've got one.
Okay.
Bill Murray is Garfield.
Oh, yeah.
This is an odd career move with a very funny reason behind it. So as we all know, Bill Murray voiced CGI Garfield in the live-action Garfield movies. The reason that he did this was because the director, I believe, was named Joel Cohen. And he was like, oh, one of the Coen brothers is directing Garfield?
Really?
Well, that's interesting. I'd like to work with the Coen brothers. Wrong Joel Cohen, buddy. It was Joel Cohen with an H.
Oh, no,
so
that's Cohen, not Coen.
Yeah,
No.
so that's how Bill Murray ended up voicing Garfield.
The ink had dried on the contract. It was too late.
Yeah, no, wait.
I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That does
Yeah, that's
explain
why.
it. Because that's I haven't seen it, but I know that's notorious for just a
buddy, don't worry. You live with
performance from Bill Murray.
You live with Jacoby Luke now. You will be watching Garfield.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Yep.
Well, if we're talking about strange just a strange choice for an actor to do when it comes to voicing a character. I don't know if you guys have ever seen 1989's Look Who's Talking.
No, but I am familiar with it.
With Bruce Willis.
I've seen that movie a couple times.
Bruce Willis voicing the inner monologue of an infant.
Why did I think that was John Travolta?
John Travolta's the
He's
dad.
the main character. No, he's not the dad.
Isn't he?
I thought he voiced the baby.
No, I think...
No. So John Travolta is actually... So the mother has an affair. See, I know, guys. The mother has an affair with her boss, and the boss is the father of her baby. And then I think she's taking a cab or something. She meets John Travolta somehow, and then he becomes linked to her family in this weird way. But then they end up falling in love, and he ends up, obviously, I think he becomes he starts babysitting her kid.
Bruce Willis.
And then they end up falling. Yeah, Bruce Willis. So it's John Travolta and Bruce Willis. And yeah, so technically he does become the dad at the end, but he's not actually the father.
Okay, so he ends up becoming the stepdad. He's the nice.
Yeah.
He's the dad who stepped up.
And then they have another kid together, and that's how you get Look Who's Talking
too. Yes.
And then there's Look Who's Talking Now, the third one, which is about the dogs talking.
Oh my god!
Hey.
Wow!
Our resident Look Who's
I saw this all when I was really
expert.
young.
Yeah,
Wow.
are we okay?
I was very young.
If we get a Patreon going next year, let's make it a goal that we all talk about the Look Who's Talking franchise.
Oh my god! The movie literally starts with Bruce Willis voicing the sperm that wins. The movie that while the opening credits are rolling, you're following this sperm, and you just hear Bruce Willis being like, "Boy, this is really hard. Wow, where are we going? Oh wow, look at all this stuff." It's like so weird, and then you like the baby's formed, and then you're being born. The camera's going through the birthing canal.
So
it's an odd film.
along with The Green Knight and Don't Breathe and Ichi the Killer. Look Who's Talking can go on the list of movies with plot important on-screen cum.
This is a movie that is started with ejaculate.
Ends with a cum shot.
Yeah.
Still not as good as Ichi the Killer, which, again, the title does appear out of a puddle.
Gross.
It's a good movie. It's fun. Well... Why did we... So Look Who's Talking is your choice?
I have multiple choices here. Alexis, do you have any that you want to mention before I rattle off a few more?
No, I could not think of any. I don't think it's weird that anybody does any movies usually. You might say one that might like jog my memory, but I legitimately couldn't think of anything.
Okay.
I was like, no, I guess that makes sense.
Well, you know, it's funny. We were talking about John Travolta, and I could think of a lot of examples of like, that's a strange choice. But after a certain point, you just realize that most of John Travolta's
Travolta's career is made up of strange choices.
Yeah, exactly. But a movie that I saw when I was a kid that still kind of haunts me to this day is a little bit of backstory. So the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito teamed up for Twins, and it was like this comedy that was really, really popular, and there's a famous story about how they kind of manipulated the contract so they got a lot on the back end, which is how big reason why Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger got so rich. Then they decided to try to recreate that magic by co-starring in another comedy in the 90s called Junior, where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant and Danny DeVito is his best friend, and the whole movie is about Arnold Schwarzenegger learning the trials and tribulations that a woman has to go through pregnancy, because he gets scientifically through a procedure. He gets implanted with a
procedure called Danny DeVito has sex with you.
That might be a deleted scene, but it's a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant. And it is an odd, bizarre choice for him to do that film. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I can't say that I recommend it. But that's a weird one. And then my final one that I have to give a shout out to. I have not seen this film because it is infamous, but 2003's Tiptoes, starring Gary Oldman
fuck is that?
And Matthew McConaughey, where Gary Oldman plays a little person. God. And through most of the film, he's doing that kind of like vaudevillian thing where he's just standing on his knees, but they put shoes on where his knees end. So he's just kind of standing there. Well, I guess he's kneeling there, but he's supposed to be a little person. And the most egregious thing about this is that Peter Dinklage is also in the film. So I just feel like not only is that like a tasteless career move, but just like, that's so bizarre, Gary Oldman. Like, this was kind of during that phase of like the 90s and early 2000s where everyone was trying to compete for like who can play a part that is hindered in some way or another, like Sean Penn playing that mentally handicapped person, and like something I Am Sam. Yeah, that's another bizarre choice. But
I have a confession corner.
Let's do it.
Confess to your sins.
I loved I Am Sam as a child.
Really?
I loved that movie.
That's a Woody Allen film, right?
Oh my God, is it?
Is it?
I might be wrong. Hold on. I thought it was.
Fact check yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Then this correction corner's turned even worse.
It is not a Woody Allen film. Correction corner on this confession corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just that, like, you know, at that age that I was when I first watched the movie, which was probably about, like, if it came out in 2001, right?
Correct.
2003, maybe?
2001.
Yeah, I would have been, like, pretty, like, maybe 7. So I just really liked the movie because it was about, like, a dad and, like, him trying his best. And, you know, obviously, like, I didn't understand until, like, later on, like, oh, yeah, we shouldn't really be having, like, abled people play somebody disabled in that, like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the movie, was it Dead? Oh, no, not The Ringers with Johnny Knoxville?
No.
Is that the one where he also plays a handicapped person, mentally handicapped person?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen clips of it. There's a friend I have that is always sending me
I think I
clips
saw it
from
in
that
theaters.
film, weirdly.
And here's the thing. Not a weird career choice because it's Johnny Knoxville.
Exactly. No, that's
that
par
makes
for the
sense.
course. That's a normal
feels
career move.
right.
Yeah, I'm like, there's always like these scenes where I'm like, that's not something that I would choose, but that makes sense for you.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
That makes, in your head, I can see how that made sense.
Well, that's another thing. I was thinking of like Nick Cage films. I was like, these are a lot of bizarre choices, but for him, it isn't.
Yeah.
So it's not a bizarre career move.
That's just a man building a body of work.
That's just letting the man cook.
Yeah. So I have one final one that also comes along with a story.
Okay.
And this is not a film that I've seen, but this is Sylvester Stallone in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Okay.
So during the, late 80s, early 90s, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger were kind of in a competition at the box office to see who was Hollywood's most bankable leading man.
Wait, is this his answer to Kindergarten Cop?
Yes. So
wow.
Schwarzenegger pivots into comedy with Kindergarten Cop and makes a whole boatload of money. I think that's maybe the highest grossing movie of that year. And
Simpler times, baby.
Stallone is like, I gotta get into comedy now. I gotta start making some of those comedies now. So he goes to his agent and he's like, find a comedy script. I'm looking for comedies. Schwarzenegger hears about this and is like, I'm going to practice the art of war. And tells his agent, find me the worst comedy script in Hollywood. And his agent finds the script for Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And Schwarzenegger goes, put it around the trades that I'm going to be in this film. So he pretends to be incredibly interested in the script for Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And Stallone hears about this and goes to his agent. He goes, I have to be in this movie. We got to take it from Schwarzenegger. So Schwarzenegger tricks Sylvester Stallone into being in what is widely considered to be the worst movie of his career and one of the worst films ever made. It is a movie where he appears in a diaper with a gun. Just humiliating stuff. And it's because he got absolutely outfoxed by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He got bamboozled. That's like that meme where it's like, oh, come on, bro, it's just a prank. The prank.
Yeah,
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
That's the kind of diabolical shit that makes you governor.
Yes. God, speaking of weird career choices, you could just put movie. What is it? Movie 43.
Yeah,
That whole film is just bizarre career choices for everyone involved.
yeah, that has to be like some weird contractual thing that everybody in that movie got trapped
I've heard
into.
stories about how that was actually almost there's like a fucking con.
Yeah,
It was almost like a get rich quick scheme that they bamboozled all these famous actors into.
it's a producer situation.
Yeah. But Alexis, you were talking about a film about a dad just trying his best. And I think that's a pretty good segue into the film that we are having bring us into, Curse Christmas. And that's right. So I think we should just step into it if there's any objections.
Sure, let's fucking step into this pile of shit.
Let's step into this pile of yellow snow. Today we are talking about the family classic Jack Frost from 1998, directed by the wonderful Troy Miller, who's done movies, I guess. So Google describes Jack Frost as a touring musician clinging to dreams of stardom. Aging rocker Jack Frost, played by Michael Keaton, never had much time for his wife, Gabby, and young son, Charlie. A year after Jack's tragic death in a car accident on Christmas Day, Charlie plays a mournful tune on his father's harmonica. Much to his surprise, the elder Frost is magically brought to life as a snowman on the family lawn. Given a second chance, Charlie and Jack struggle to make up for lost
This is the longest
time.
fucking Google description ever.
It's almost as long as the film.
Oh, fuck.
So the reason we're talking about strange, bizarre career moves for established stars is, as in that description, Michael Keaton plays Jack Frost, who turns into a snowman.
This movie came out fucking like 6 or 7 years after Batman Returns.
Yeah.
He was like Batman recently in proximity to this movie.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did the time go?
It is pretty... Honestly, this is a movie. I'm not going to say it's a bad film, but it is an awful film. It was... This was... Okay, I'm sorry, but when...
Alexis, what did you...
what did you think of Jack Frost?
Have you seen this fucking thing before?
Yeah, I definitely... Oh my god, stop it.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, drop it. Sorry. She's trying to take off with my slipper. Bitch. Yeah, I saw this as a kid, so that's it. Yeah, I saw it as a kid. I generally kind of remembered what happened. I definitely didn't remember his rendition of Frosty the Snowman at the beginning, which I'll be totally honest, I was kind of like, I kind of like it.
Wow. She would have been in the front row at that concert.
Oh my god.
I was like, damn, that girl can really play her fiddle. What's up? I'm just a sucker for a harmonica, you know?
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow. This might be the most controversial thing you've ever said on this podcast.
Harmonicas, fiddles, and banjos.
If you've seen Jack Frost, you know.
Yeah, you know what's really funny too was that like when the movie ended, my mom came over and she was just like, "Oh, you finished the movie already?" I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Oh, I would have come and watch it with you," because she very specifically didn't watch any of the Hunger Game movies with us because she doesn't like anything to do with like war or whatever, you know. But you know, she would have gone out of her way to watch Jack Frost with me. That tells you everything you need to know about how I grew up.
Wow.
That my history with this film is very similar to Alexis's. I saw it, I'm going to guess, once when I was very young. I really didn't remember anything about this film at all, except I remember Jack Frost, once he is a snowman, giving me the big ick as a kid. I just remember not liking it. And that still stands. With the rewatch, I have to say that Jim Henson and co. did a great job of giving me nightmare fuel. I do have to say, this is a good movie to like get the snowball rolling on Curse Christmas, because this is a horror film. This is a horror movie that is given through the lens of a family comedy. There is
a lot of like weird gaslighting of his son going on for a period of time. But I would like to state, I had never seen this movie before. I'm mad that I watched it. I'm mad that Mick made me watch it. I'm mad at him. It's a good thing we're recording this episode separate, because I would smack him upside the head, because this movie sucks. It sucks shit. It sucks so bad. It sucks at the beginning. It sucks during the middle. It sucks at the end. This movie sucks. It takes... Weirdly, I was actually relieved to see the Devilish Nightmare Snowman, because it takes like 40 minutes minutes
Yeah,
of
it's
an
almost-
hour and 40-minute movie
It's almost
to get
halfway
to this
through.
fucking evil snowman. Yeah, this movie wastes so much time on his terrible. Alexis, that's an insane take that you gave. That's a fucking insane. You're out here on the cutting edge of having takes.
What? I didn't say that I loved the movie, just that I loved the opening song in a way.
Crazy.
That's the crazy part.
Crazy. That opening
When
song.
the opening
I was
started,
no, I swear to God, guys, I was so tired and I started watching this movie and I was just like, God, and I normally hate Christmas. I normally hate Christmas songs, but you know what? There's just something about this version that I'm like, you know what? I think I'm okay with it.
wow. Yeah, no, when this movie opened, I was
fucking
like,
insane.
I said out loud, I went, oh no. Like, when it opens, because I had completely forgotten that he's like a musician, which is a very odd choice.
There's a lot of odd choices.
Exactly, there's so many odd choices in this film. Like, here's my main complaint with this movie, to which there are many. But here's a dad, and, you know, he's trying his best, and he ends up dying. Fast forward a year, he becomes a snowman, magically. Like, there's no explanation for why he comes back as a snowman except because he blew into the harmonica.
Yeah, it's a magic harmonica.
Okay, it's a magic harmonica.
The harmonica's magic. That one guy gave it to him.
And
Did you even watch this movie?
His dad.
immediately, Jack Frost, he looks at him. He looks at his reflection in the window, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like, you know, he's panicking, rightfully so. Why the hell am I like a snowman? And then that goes away immediately. And the rest of the movie, he's just trying to help his son like have snowball fights and win at hockey. Like, this movie could have so.
I enjoyed the hockey aspect of this film.
This movie would have worked so much better if Jack Frost was just kind of like this mythical being that just kind of like helped out this child. But having him be the dad,
it's his dad, Jack Frost, which is their actual name.
Like surrenders like all of his true motivation of like, oh my god, I'm a snowman. Like, we have to fix this. What is this? None of that happens. They're just skiing. They're snowboarding. They're having a good time, and I don't buy any of it.
What, you guys don't love the two giant fucking snowballs that took out those two children?
Those killed those kids.
Yeah, those are dead kids.
I know! That's what I'm saying! I watched that and I was like, there's no way they weren't murdered by the sheer force of those snowballs.
No, I was like, this snowman
Like,
is
they
a
were
killer.
splattered.
Is this the film The Snowman? There's a killer snowman
But he
on
wasn't
the
the
loose.
one. He wasn't the one who tossed those ones. It was supposedly the kids. They're the ones who were rolling these giant snowballs down.
I gotta be honest, I was fucking pretty drunk.
That was the least believable
pretty
part.
drunk when I watched this movie.
You're what?
I was pretty drunk watching
Which
this movie.
I feel like that's the way to watch this film.
Yeah,
like, as an
except
adult.
except everyone else had fallen asleep. Sloane was sleeping on the couch, and I was like, I'm alone in
Here's
this.
the thing.
I'm alone.
Here's the thing, guys. Do you know how many, like, Hallmark style Christmas movies I've had to endure in my almost 3 decades of being alive?
By the way, happy birthday. This will be coming
Oh,
out
yeah.
after your birthday. Happy birthday, Alexis.
Happy birthday,
This will
Alexis.
come out after my birthday, but thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You all
I
better
feel
have
like my
wished her a happy birthday.
capacity for Christmas movies, my capacity for Christmas is pretty low, but my capacity for Christmas movies is pretty high. I don't know.
You know, it's funny you say that, Alexis, because as I was watching this, I was like, if this was made today, this would, just the story is 1,000% a Hallmark or direct to Netflix Christmas film. Like,
Yeah.
like when Kelly Preston goes to the hardware store where Robert Baratheon is there working, the British pianist, he says something that is straight out of one of those Netflix Christmas films, which is like, oh, hey, you're finally here to get your Christmas light, aren't you? Like, that line bugged me. I'm like, everything is Christmas. Like,
yeah,
no, maybe,
whole world
maybe my
revolves
sink is
around
broken.
Christmas.
Maybe I'm coming in to get some pipe. I'm not here
it's
for Christmas
time.
lights.
It's Christmas time. You can only buy Christmas items.
Yeah.
I'll
be honest though.
Oh, go ahead.
I actually think that the only thing that really holds this movie together is Kelly Preston. She for being in this movie, she's really sending the emotion of being a mom and a widow.
Yeah, you know what? I'll sign off on Kelly Preston kind of being a shining light in this movie. To me, she was the only person who felt like kind of like a human being.
Yeah, she does. She does what she can with what little she is given.
Yeah, I mean, the dad's definitely like more like a caricature of like a musician, you know?
He's more like a caricature of a snowman. Because he's a snowman.
He is a snowman. His name is literally...
Guys, remember when he becomes a snowman and his name is Jack Frost? And he's like, Jack Frost, what are the odds? And I'm like, someone wrote this! Yeah. Someone named you Jack Frost and wrote this to turn you into a snowman. I'm so angry.
I laugh so hard when he appears outside with his snowman hat on. Like Michael Keaton, a human being, is wearing a top hat that you see on a snowman. I laughed so hard.
It's literally a pork pie hat.
Oh
yeah. My dad was present.
I own a pork pie hat.
Of course you do. You like harmonicas. They come together. Pork pie hats and harmonicas are not sold separately.
You're gonna turn into a snowman.
Oh my god.
No, I watched. My dad was here for the first couple minutes of this movie, and the first thing he said was, "Nice hat, Michael Keaton."
Yeah, I know, for real.
No,
oh my god!
I believe the exact line he says about being named Jack Frost. He's like, turning a guy named Jack Frost into a snowman. That's not even clever. And I'm like, it's fucking not. You're right. That's not clever. Fuck you. I'm mad.
So when I was starting the film, I was realizing quite quickly that this is a bad movie. This is going to be a bad movie. But
you weren't jamming along with their rendition of Frosty the Snowman like Alexis was?
I had this thought of,
I stand by that take.
At least what makes this watchable. At least what makes this watchable is Michael Keaton. Like, he is why I'm sticking around. But then as soon as I had that thought, he dies. And now he's doing this awful. I'm going to say Michael Keaton gives a bad voice performance.
Oh yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
No,
That's
he does
why
not give
he
a
did
shit.
This movie.
He's not even really in the movie. Like, once you're 40 minutes in, which is so much, way too much setup. We get it. It's fine. But I have to wonder, why did Michael Keaton do this film? Do we have any theories? Because I have a theory.
I have a theory.
What's your theory? Might be the same theory.
Money. I was
going to say that.
Okay, no, I actually have a full thing that I wrote down.
Okay.
I think so. My last note in my weirdly long page of notes for this movie, which I feel like are mostly like only tangentially related, which tells you how much this sucked. But my final note is, what a phenomenal waste of Michael Keaton. Why did he do this? There are better ways to get to sing in a movie. I think he wanted to I think it's the old adage of all actors want to be musicians, all musicians want to be actors. I think that he wanted to be in a band, and they were like, you can be in a band in this movie and you don't even have to be in it for very long. And he was like, cool, I'm going to be a cool guy. And then he wasn't. I think that's what happened.
That's possible. I mean, my theory is that this is a Warner Brothers film. So I wonder if he was contractually obligated after doing the Batman movies, which were also Warner Brothers, if he somehow was dipped into a contract where you have to do so many movies for our studio, they finish the Batman ones and you still have to do one more, and they give him this.
Yeah, maybe. And he didn't.
Be.
He was signed on initially for Batman Forever, but ultimately didn't do it because he didn't like the direction that movie was going.
That could be it.
So,
It could be that he dropped out of that. They're like, well, you still have to give us one more thing. It's like, can I play the harmonica and have a cool hat? And they're like, well, you can have the harmonica.
And you can have a hat.
You can have a hat. You know what's
Alexis,
crazy?
Where's your pork pie hat?
Yeah, Alexis, you should put on your pork pie hat for this.
Can I see it? Can we post it? Wait,
look, she's getting it.
Oh, she's going to get it right now. Audience,
she's actually getting the pork pie hat.
This is a visual medium, and I can't wait to see it.
Okay. I have a confession corner.
Okay.
Confession corner, go for it.
I own 2 pork pie hats.
Oh my god. Okay, follow-up question is why? Why do you own 2 pork pie hats? For the gifts? Oh my god. You were a jazz cat.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Is that I originally got this green one. I can't hear you anymore because I gotta put this hat on. But I originally got this green one. And I really liked the green one, you know, because, you know, like Ducky from Pretty in Pink, that was kind of the motivation. And then, I was like, when am I gonna really ever wear a green pork pie hat? So then I also bought one in black.
Because you can.
I have 2.
That's the thing. You can tie more outfits together with a black pork pie hat than you can with a green one. I'll give you that.
Okay, well,
What?
Mick was saying
Wait,
that
what'd you say, Mick? I didn't hear you.
You can tie more outfits together with a black pork pie hat than with a green one.
That makes sense why you would get 2.
Well, audience, don't worry.
Yeah.
I just snapped a little screenshot of that, so that'll go on the.
That's great.
That'll go on the Instagram when this
Zach,
episode
you have
comes
to
out.
use
Film Majors Pod. I know what I have to do, Mick.
Yes,
I know what I have to do.
That's the poster. That's the poster right there.
Yeah, Alexis, you'll have to snap another picture of you in the pork pie hat, so we can edit you
have our
onto the
Jack
Jack Frost.
Frost.
That's so funny.
Fuck. Yeah. Again, I really think that. Oh, yeah, I didn't like having to see Snowman Michael Keaton contemplate having tits. I thought that was bad.
Yeah, that was an interesting gag.
That was a bad
And
bit.
then he made it into a mono boob.
Yes.
Yeah, he did for a second. I didn't like hear him saying, that's the coldest wedgie I ever had. That's the most depressing fucking shit in the world. This man has a like an Academy Award for producing Spotlight. I was thinking about that. Hey guys, this is our second Michael Keaton movie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Fuck.
We are covering the spectrum here.
I will say, okay, here's the one thing that I'm going to say for Jack Frost. I do kind of miss when even dog shit terrible movies looked like movies. Because, well, this movie sucks. It's shot on, like, real locations. You know, nowadays this would all be, like, fucking shot on, like, in front of a green screen or the volume or something. It would all be lit fucking flatly as shit and shot on digital. So, you know, I long for the real days of the good old days of real cinema, like Jack Frost.
I have a complaint to lodge against this movie.
Go ahead. That's
That's
kind
what
of the
we're
theme
doing
here.
Okay. So my complaint is that the kid who is a bully, who spends the entire movie bullying this young boy.
I know.
Okay. At the very end, the guy's like, the little boy's like, can you help me get this snowman in here? And then the kid finds out, oh shit, the snowman's real. I fucking knew it. And then he's like, fuck you. I don't want to help you because I'm a bully. And then he's like, come on, man. You know what it's like to not have a dad. And then he's like, yeah, it sucks. And he's like, yeah, it does suck. And then he helps him.
No, then he Then he says Snow Dad is better than No Dad.
Yes, he does.
Snow Dad is better than No Dad.
That should have been the tagline of this poster. That should have been the tagline.
Snow Dad is better than No Dad. Yeah. Well, first of all, least believable part of the movie. I would rather believe that Michael Keaton comes back as a snowman than for a 13-year-old bully to suddenly have the emotional capacity to be like, yeah, you're right. Not having a father sucks, even though, mine actually left, before I was born, but it, and yours died, different, but the same. And I totally get you. That is not believable.
That is a quick
Kids
arc.
Don't change that fast.
Yeah, that's not believable, but I'm still gonna say it's more believable than any fucking record label wanting to sign to Jack Frost and his band.
And you need to play for us on Christmas
right.
Day.
Yeah,
At the party
okay.
in Aspen.
Yeah, that's the.
I'm like, I'm sorry, who booked that? Somebody's getting fired.
Yeah, no.
Whoever booked them for the party in Aspen is getting fired.
No one in the entertainment business works on Christmas. That never happens. Like, it is always. December is always like financially hard for me because no one's working. Like, doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's
Everyone
so
takes
forced.
a whole week off.
How do we get him to be on the
Like
road alone
2 weeks off
on Christmas? How do we do it? Oh, well, he's booked for a gig. That's right. We'll do that. Yeah, it's so lazy. Also, Alexis, that kid is such a bad actor, the one you're talking about, the bully.
Both the kids are bad actors, but yeah, the bully is dreadful.
Really, really cringe.
The fucking little girl, she's like, actually, I think you should come back to the hockey team.
She was at least kind of cute.
All right. Let's not. Let's
she's
move on from that.
Not like that, you fucking weirdo. She's a cute little kid. Don't be a fucking sicko.
Okay, first of all, I didn't immediately go there, but Mick immediately went there, and that skewed my brain in that direction.
No, Alexis, I saw you make a face immediately. Let's be honest. That was a weird thing to say.
No, she was at least kind of sweet. I don't know. I'm fucking clinging to anything in this movie.
Okay, well, if we're gonna rate their acting on that, I'm gonna say that I liked the bully's hair, even though it was
there
weird.
We go. There's something. There's something.
His hair was awful.
It is indicative of the time.
And the times
it is
were
a time-specific hairstyle, and I low-key love that look.
I did make a note that know that these bullies are cool because one of them has goggles and an age-appropriate snack in his mouth.
What was
Did you notice
snack?
how when it was like a jerky stick or something that he had in his mouth as though it were a cigarette? I
did not notice that part, but I did notice the goggles, and I've always thought that goggles were cool. So I think because of like rocket power from back in the day.
All right.
Do you remember that? It was like a cartoon TV show about kids skateboarding.
No, I never saw that.
No.
Losers.
Before my time.
Losers.
Before my time.
Fuck you, Zach. Fuck you, Zach. I know for a fact that shit didn't come out till the 2000s, you dickwad.
Well, you were like, what, 4 years old
cable.
4 or 5 years old?
Something like that.
Oh my god, that's awful.
It's fine, guys.
You know what's really crazy about this movie? Does anyone want to take a wild guess as to what the budget was on this film?
500,000.
Okay,
500,000.
That's pretty low.
Okay, I'm gonna say this was $1998.
Yeah.
I'll go with a healthy 40 million.
Okay, so we have Alexis. Do you want to stick with 500,000?
Fine, I'll go with 5 million.
Okay, so we have 5 million and 40 million. Are you ready? This is what the budget was of Jack Frost, 1998. In 1998 money, $85 million.
Oh my god!
How much of that went to Kevin? How much of that went to
Kevin
him?
Costner? I'm not sure. Probably a lot.
Like most of that went to Michael Keaton.
It has to. Honestly, I was like, where? Where did the money go? Because do you remember in the scene where Jack Frost is teaching, they're going through like a sports montage of teaching him how to score a goal in hockey on that little pond?
Sure.
And that was the worst set I think I've ever seen. That awful, awful sculpted, chiseled rock wall and the awful snow in the tree. That's one of the worst sets I've ever seen. And I'm just beside myself as how the hell they managed to shoot this for that much money. There's not even that much CGI in it. It's...
Yeah, I mean, I guess the, like, Henson, like, big snowman puppeteered thing probably cost some money, but it didn't cost 85 mil.
I would guess it's because they shot on location, maybe? In some of the stuff?
So, if in 1998 you made a movie for 85 mil, then today that same movie would cost roughly $160 million.
Are you serious?
That's what the inflation calculator is telling me.
Good God. That really puts it into perspective. Yeah, I was shocked when I found out the budget was what it was.
You know, I have no words. There's nothing left.
The Creator, the sci-fi film that came out this year, The Creator, cost like $80 million in today's money.
Yeah. Which would be what back then? Like 35?
Yeah,
40?
like 35, 40, something like that. Oh.
Yeah.
Is this shot on film?
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
it's
it had to be. They weren't
1998.
shooting on digital in
1998.
Yeah.
So it's automatically just more expensive, like, to shoot it, right?
No, because back then everything was shooting on film, so it's not like it was more expensive.
Film wasn't expensive in the same way it is now.
Yeah. The first movie shot on digital, the first feature film, wasn't that 28 Days Later?
No, I think Collateral came out before that.
Did it?
I mean, I think so.
Huh.
Oh wait! 28 days.
Collateral's
Why am I thinking of
127
hours? Yeah, it might have been 28 days
no
later.
idea.
It might have been because they're both Danny Boyle. But
Sure.
it might have been. I mean, Blair Witch probably shot digital, but
it might have been Blair Witch. Okay.
yeah. I don't know. See, these are the things you have to talk about when you're talking about Jack Frost.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's interesting?
I gotta be honest. About this movie. Like, it is cursed, but I don't think it's making that many interesting decisions. And I'm, not to sing the praises of the, what I'm going to be talking about, but I think there are interesting choices being made in, what I'll be talking about later.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. When I was watching this movie, I was like, oh no, is this just going to be like a boring film? Like a bad, boring film? Like, I knew it was going to be bad. But I will agree that it is cursed. The Jack Frost stuff really freaks me out. I don't like.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Don't like
it's
his
fucked.
face.
I don't like it.
But it's not cursed.
It's so funny.
Enough.
I was like, "Oh, snowman."
Alexis, there's something wrong with you. Alexis, because you are a snowman.
Alexis is so twisted that to her cursed Christmas is just Christmas.
I know. Like, I love Polar Express.
Finish that thought.
Yeah.
Finish that thought.
Almost every single movie that we're going to cover, except for the one that I haven't seen, like, I genuinely, like, I'm like, I think of Christmas movies, I like those ones more than most of the other ones. Like,
You're a bad guy.
I know that.
Oh, God.
Fucking A. Mick,
So strange.
Did you have something? Were you saying something?
Yes. The year before this came out, there was another movie called Jack Frost that was released.
I saw this.
That I think is a horror film.
Yeah, when you initially brought this up, for some reason I thought those two movies were the same movie. It's probably because the snowman in this looks so fucked up.
Yeah. Huh. I kind of want to watch the 1997 one because first of all, the snowman looks like way better. It's like less creepy, but it's like, yeah. Why did they not give him a carrot nose? What's with the cork nose? Like that, I don't like that. I was hung up the whole time on that movie. Why he does not have a carrot for a nose? It's ridiculous.
You know, what's my favorite Jack Frost though?
What's your favorite Jack? Yeah, who's our favorite cinematic Jack Frost?
My favorite Jack Frost is the one from the, what is it, Rankin and Bass, whatever the stop motion ones. It's like a 40-minute movie, and it's about Jack Frost seeing a beautiful girl, and then it's not a great movie, I'll be honest, but he comes down, he decides he wants this girl, this girl as his, like, to love her or whatever, so he gets the god or whoever to turn him into a human, but it's only temporary, and he has to get a home, a job, and a wife before a certain time period. Otherwise, he'll turn back into Jack Frost, who's in charge of, making certain the seasons change and shit. But then there's the Kubla Khan in the mountains, which is kind of, now that I'm older, I think it's a little racist.
It's definitely racist.
But, there's the songs kind of suck in the movie, but there's also a groundhog. And this is like a groundhog origin story too, of like why the groundhog comes out. And yeah, none of this makes sense, and I love that.
I am so confused. Is this the song? Is this the one that's got the song that's like, I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow.
That's Snow Miser and Heat Miser from...
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Right. That's the movie I really like growing up, from those like kind of stop motion puppet films. I had not seen the Jack Frost one until you showed that to me last Christmas.
I'd say it's one of the weaker stop motion movies, but I just love the little song that they do where they're all dirt poor, right? They're all in the house together, and they all are pretending like this box that's empty is their perfect Christmas present, and they're all passing it around the table and singing about like, oh, I never thought that I would get the thing that I wanted the most, and it's like precious. I don't know. I like it.
Well, that sounds like a better movie than this.
Yeah, I don't like how Michael Keaton comes back as like a Jedi ghost at the end.
That CGI looks really bad.
It looks really bad. I mean, at least Michael Keaton, he's emoting. Like he's getting some tears going. But my question, I like to, maybe it's a foolhardy thing to question the logic of a movie like this, or lack thereof. But if he could appear as his human form, which is proven at the end of the film, why did he come back as a snowman? He could have just come back.
That can only happen when he's ascending to snowman heaven.
Okay.
Or hell.
Exactly.
Wait, so
you know why? Because
so
he literally tells his son, like, you have to let me go. And him being let go is so that he's no longer tethered to the earth in a corporeal presence.
Yeah, he has to go to snowman hell.
He has now been able to separate from the snowman and be a spirit before he leaves.
If he's going to snowman heaven, then why does he turn back into a person before he goes there?
I don't know. Who gives a shit? Fuck you. I like Alexis's explanation.
Because we need a visual representation.
Fuck off. The movie's
I guess I could have
over.
just done his like voice in the wind or some shit. But how would we get Michael Keaton saying, "Gabby, you look great"?
Yeah, he needs to sing. This is another thing about this movie.
I hate that fucking song that he sings. It's so fucking cringe. That whole little thing with his wife. She's like, "Sing me a smile."
Every song in this movie has like such a fucking like boneheadedly literal connection to what's happening on screen. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like every song on the soundtrack is like, this song is going to explain what's literally happening on screen. Like even when they do a fucking landslide, it's like, oh, did you know that this guy got killed in the snow? Oh man. Just.
Oh, is that why they chose that?
Yes.
I was just like, oh, Stevie Nicks. I love Stevie
We're
Nicks.
making connections here. We're making connections.
That was my first reaction, and then the more I listened, I was like, man, fuck you guys.
That's so funny.
But you know what? Listen, here's what I'll say for this movie. You know, $85 million budget, some of that went to crew, and those crew people were probably working hard. So, good job, you guys. You did it.
I'm really disappointed that Jack Frost as a snowman did not play with his band one last time. I was really waiting for that scene where his bandmates show up, hand him his harmonica, and go, take it away,
Jack. The
Jack.
snowman jamming.
The snowman jamming, yeah. How did we not get this?
Okay, question, guys.
If I had made this film, that's the only change I would have made.
Would you rather get paid shit to work on a really good movie or get paid really fucking well to work on a shit movie?
Oh, get paid really well in a shit film, absolutely.
Yeah, I can make a good movie later. I'll get paid. I'll get paid well to work on a shit movie. I don't know how good's the movie. If it's like I don't know. No, I'd probably rather get paid well.
Yeah, because then you could say, like, I made a lot of money working on Jack Frost. Have you seen Jack Frost?
Daddy's got to eat.
Yeah.
True.
All right. Well, I think that's fucking as good a place to wrap up as any. I have a lot of notes on this movie, but they're all like kind of my mind wandering. Let's see. I wrote like, what does Jack's wife do? How do they afford this house? You know, that's really the sign that your brain is like not on the action in the film. How is this child going to get off of this mountain? If he dies, will he become a snowman too?
Jack Frost 2.
Two Jack, two Frost.
Two Jacks, two Frost. Starring Dolph Lundgren.
I didn't like how one of the first things Michael Keaton Snowman did was look down to see if he had a cock.
Yeah,
although that is what I would do.
It's not family friendly.
No.
You know,
and Alexis, when you said he's an anatomically correct snowman, I was expecting a snowcock, but they very quickly get rid of that.
When did I say that?
The last episode, you're like, oh yeah, that's where he plays kind of like an anatomically correct snowman, which you're kind of right, like with the cheek bones and shit.
I said an anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said anatomically correct, so I was waiting for the snowcock.
Buddy, that's all you.
Very quickly, they knew I was waiting for it because they got that out of the way very quickly. Like, no, Mick, this is not here.
All right.
They knew Mick had questions.
Okay, all right. I want to go enjoy my holiday and get out of Jack Frost.
I enjoyed that. I need to go to the gym.
I want to be freed of Jack Frost. So, if you want to fucking suffer through this movie, you can watch it on Max. But we're done with it. Mick, this was a highly cursed film. Good pick.
Thank you. Where are we going next, folks? Where's this cursed sleigh ride taking us next?
Alexis, where are you taking us?
Yeah, I thought long, not very long, and hard, very hard about about this movie choice because, you know, if anything, I love many Christmas movies. There were some good options. I did throw them in our group chat. And I thought to myself, what would be the best way to make Mick suffer, but me still enjoy myself? So we're not going with what I think Zach would hope we're going with.
Listen, that's a double-edged sword. That's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, you would also fall on that sword, Zach. That's why I was impressed. I was like, Zach, really? You want me to suffer that bad to suffer through it yourself?
I'm so willing to do some mutually assured destruction, but Alexis, please.
We're gonna do How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Is it 2002?
Something like that.
Let me look it up, but this is a Ron Howard film starring Mr. Jim Carrey and Jeffrey Tambor.
That's
it is a 2000 film. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, it's pre 9/11.
There you go.
So yeah, that's
a time that I know well because I'm fucking ancient. Apparently,
you're so broken. But hey,
Also,
I was alive. I was alive when both of these movies came out because I assume Jack Frost Jack Frost had to have been a winter release.
When were you born, Zach?
Sure.
Are you 97 or 98?
October 1998. Me and Jack Frost are the same age.
How do you not know that? Even I know that.
Yeah, Mick,
I don't know a lot.
You were the same age as Balto. I'm the same age as Jack Frost.
Wait, so Alexis, what are you the same age as? What's a
Lion King?
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
I actually might be a little younger than the Lion King because I'm sure that the Lion King came out probably during the summer.
Yeah, I'm roughly the same age as Blade. That's a good 1998 movie.
I am the exact same age as Braveheart because that movie was released the day I was born.
Wow. I think
I'm returning to the next episode with the actual movie that I am the oldest of. So I'm going to do a little research. I'm going to get back to you.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Zach, do the same thing. See if there's a movie that came out the day you were released.
I'm almost positive that the movie Ants. I'm almost positive that the movie Ants, directed by Woody Allen.
We had the same release day.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why I said it that way, but I'm glad I did.
Ants and Zach were both released on the same day, I think.
Ants?
But Ants.
Really? Woody Allen's Ants?
I think so.
That's a weirdly good movie, actually.
Never seen it.
It is actually
Gene
a very good
Hackman,
movie.
Christopher
Walken.
Walken.
Mick, you're always talking about, how Woody Allen is your man and how he did nothing wrong. So, that tracks. But,
For the
we're
record,
not talking about
I
Ants.
do not
We're
say
not
that.
talking about Ants. Mick always says it. He won't admit it on air, but he always says it.
I'm just saying Annie Hall is a good movie.
He's always saying it. So, yes, we will be talking about How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's a 2000 film directed by Ron Howard. You can rent it wherever you rent your movies. It is currently not streaming on anything. And I, for one, can't wait to watch it. I've got it on VHS.
I have it on DVD.
There you go.
I've got it in the classic plastic green VHS box.
Me too.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, that's where you can find that movie. And if you want to find us, the Film Majors, tell us, what are your holiday plans? What do you want for Christmas? You can email us at filmmajorspod@gmail.com, or you can follow us on social media at filmmajorspod on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. And make sure you check that Instagram because you'll get to see Alexis in her pork pie hat.
Oh, yeah. Look for that. And Alexis, I have to say, thank you so much for not choosing 2022's Spirited, starring Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. That was the other option, listeners.
Here's the thing, is that I'm willing to make you guys suffer, but I'm not willing to make myself suffer.
Yeah, because you're a grounded person, unlike Zach. You have boundaries. You have healthy boundaries, Zach.
Some men aren't looking for
I'm in
anything
therapy.
logical.
I have healthy boundaries that I like to set, and I also don't love most newer Will Ferrell comedies.
Yeah.
So, I love Ryan Reynolds, though. I almost chose Just Friends just to make you guys suffer, but it's fine. I chose How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Wait, which one is Just Friends?
A lot of joy.
Is that the Ryan Reynolds one where he plays a serial killer during Christmas?
No, it's the one where he plays I'm about to be very non-PC, but he plays a very large person who eventually gets like really hot and becomes like a major guy at a record label, and then he goes back to his hometown and is like, ha ha ha, I'm hot, and is trying to be a dick to the girl that he used to be in love with, but is probably still in love with. Anyways, I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it does have a very unhinged Anna Faris in it, and I love that. And also Ryan Reynolds just gets fucked up constantly throughout this movie, so it's pretty funny.
All right, well, there's a couple of recommendations for you. Now, let's get on with our holiday. We'll see you next time to discuss How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
See you next time.
Woo!